We are living in very interesting times, and media posts and tweets and so many things are out there about AI, about quantum computing, about space exploration, about Mars expedition, about wanting to connect with aliens, and so many things. And I often see very disappointed, sometimes even politically motivated posts about what is our country doing, what is Indians doing. And these are the times in which I would like to reach out to you and say, it's not what the country is doing or the country is doing for us that should be the question. The question should be, what are we doing for the country? And in that space, I want to address all the youth here. And by youth, I'm not just talking about the late stage school or early college or early career people, but anyone in the age group of 35 to 40, 45 even, who are people who can do real solid productive things. I don't mean that people after 45 are not productive, but really the amount of years that the early youth can contribute. And that's the perspective I'm coming from. So here are 10 appeals for you to consider. Appeal number one: go back and understand the country, the culture, the challenges, and the changing nation that we are. Many of us, the last 30, 40 years of the middle class race to affluence and to gather wealth, have even forgotten the concept of what Bharat was, the rich 5, 10, 15,000 years of history that we have. I mean, many of us even call Ramayana and Mahabharata mythology. They are not. They are true history of our country. So, request number one to all of us: go back, understand the country that we are, understand the culture that we are. And from that understanding the culture will be born the second request that I'm making to all of us. Important things about the Bharatiya culture, concepts like God, faith, Ayurveda, Jyotish. These are not fairy tales or superstition. We have had rich literature, rich research. Our drishtas, our rishis, our scholars, they have done immense amount of work. At one point in time, we had universities in our country which were the richest source of knowledge across the world, and scholars from the world over used to come. During invasions and during so many other campaigns, many of them got destroyed. Go, learn, and understand. Our history is not mythology. Our stories are not mythology. Concepts like Ayurveda, Jyotish, etc. are not at all superstition. There is sound scientific basis to all of these. And from that understanding of the country and the culture, I would encourage each one of us to develop deep capabilities, at least in 2 or 3 solid subjects, whether it is sciences or arts, or it's any of the business topics, or whatever research you're doing. You could be an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor, but really, do you have cutting edge, deep knowledge, deep capability? And many of us really need to start thinking about doing PhDs, publishing research, doing original work. If not original, at least latching on with original thinking and using that in daily life. And that capability of real hardcore capability of doing things, about being very good in a certain field, is something that our nation requires. Even if 50% of our country's youth starts doing real deep work, imagine where we are going to go. Many of us are just working and doing our jobs, but really we are not doing things which will be nation building. And within that capability of doing things, how do we become a better youth, better citizens of a country? We need to learn things like psychology. We need to learn things like managing relationships, managing money, managing the society. So many important things which will help us progress as a community, as collective. And that's the fourth request that I want to leave with you, which is learning about psychology, money, relationship, managing society, etc. And many of us, I'm even encouraging you to get educated and get into public life, public service, social service, government organizations, get into politics. It is important that really well educated people get into areas like these. Then, very important for us also as a culture, the Bharatiyas, to stop blaming anyone. There is no need to blame parents. There is no need to blame teachers. There is no need to blame societies, institutions. There is no point of walking around like hurt children carrying hurt. Just take whatever is good from wherever you get, from your parents, from teachers, institutions, society, wherever you get good, find it. Whenever you find wrong, find your answers, improve the society. Many times people, including our parents, are doing wrong things because they have not learned better ways of living life or of doing the things that they're doing. So why not you take the first step and learn and improve that? That's the fifth thing that I want to leave with you. Then, uh, for all of us as people, it's also very important to develop the habit of success, becoming really, really successful at what we are doing, and also developing likability while we do that. So it's not that you become successful and you want to denounce the social way of living. And there are a lot of people out there, who have very weird ways of approaching others and weird ways of living their life once they become successful. That's not the point. Success and likability, these are two things that we all need to learn and practice to become a far, far more civil society the way we need to be. And from there, I would encourage all of us at the seventh step to start becoming very interested and invested in nation building. So all of these things that I spoke about, they will all add to your capability. So when you know your country, culture, etc., when you understand your history and start believing the scientific basis of it, when you develop deep capabilities, when you learn subjects like psychology, management of society, etc., when you remove all blame games and start learning the good things and finding your answers, when you develop likability and the habit of collective success, where do you reach? You reach at a point where you can actually contribute to society and nation building. And that's the seventh point that I made. Be interested and invested in building the country. If only we had sufficient number of youth 20 years back interested in things like AI and quantum computing, we would have been far ahead of where we are. There are many original scientific minds and thinkers who are trying to do this. What we need is a large bunch of us interested in concepts like this. And from here, what I would also encourage us to do to become a better society is to reject freebies and manipulation of all kinds that are out there in society, whether it's corporates or so many areas from where freebies and manipulation gets offered to us. Many of us lap up all of these things and we are gaining very bad habits based on these things. Remember, there is no free lunch. There is always a vested interest behind whoever is giving it to you. Whether it's app providers or it's service providers or whoever else is doing it, there is a vested interest. You buy into those freebies, you buy into those vested interests, you will start destroying the nation. Stop doing that. And from there, remember, the ninth important point. In our country, we are not really respectful of services. Pay for services, whatever services you take, whether it's the delivery boy that you're taking services from, or it's the banking organization, or it's some other institution that you're taking services from. Be aware and agree to pay the right price. When you pay the right price for services, the value of services goes up in the industry. It is only going to help our economy. And last but not the least, as you do all of these things, make sure that you groom others around you for a better future for our own country. We need a certain amount of structure. We need a certain amount of dynamics in the society. We need all of us to behave in a certain civil way for our country to continuously grow. And that's a 10th appeal that I'm going to leave with all of you. So as youth, it's very important for us to focus on at least these 10. Maybe there are quite a few others which informed and intelligent minds like you can add up to make Bharat a better Bharat.